So today I want to address the importance of decentering men from our lives, how to stop seeking male validation, male attention, and how to actually get that energy back to ourselves so we can focus it on growing and becoming the best version of ourselves. I think now more than ever, women have truly been forgetting their worth and their value and exactly what they bring to the table. So in this video, I just want to remind you exactly how much you are worth so that you can enter any situation when it comes to dealing with men with a lot more confidence, just so you know and understand your value, so you don't get taken advantage of, and so you know exactly how much power you have. Since the beginning of time, women have been taught from an early age how to dress a certain way, how to act a certain way, for the male gaze, for male validation. And it's just so sad to see because we're not just objects for men to praise. Like, we're human beings. We have our own visions, we have our own goals. And it's just really sad to see how lately a lot of women don't seem to be empowered and just truly know exactly how valuable they are. Like, we are responsible for bringing life into this world, right? Like, out of both genders, we've been entrusted to bring life into this world. And there's that saying that God doesn't give you more burden than you can bear. And clearly, he trusted women to be responsible for literally this miracle. And that alone just deserves so much praise and so much value because nobody on earth can do that. Like, literally, it's only women who can do that. Childbirth is truly one of the most painful experiences any human being can endure. And every single month, our body prepares itself to perform this miracle. We menstruate, we go through pain, we go through so many changes in our body. Just that alone brings so much value to this world. Not only that, but women have this sense of nurture and life and abundance that they bring. If you look at a home that is without a woman, it just doesn't have that like homey touch, right? But whereas where you go to a home where there are women, there's always going to be something that's comforting. There's gonna be life, there's gonna be abundance. And I'm not just making this up, okay? It's been proven that men that are married live longer, okay? Just by having a woman in your presence is automatically going to add years to your life. And I see this myself. I work in healthcare, and 99% of the patients that are male only come to see me because their wife or their girlfriend told them to get something checked out. We just have this really nurturing tendency, and we tend to take care of people around us. So just by having a woman in your life, like, you automatically add value to your life. You automatically add health. You automatically have abundance. You automatically have a potential to have a family. It's just so sad to see women chasing after men when truly we're the ones who have the power. I think we forget that we're the prize. And instead of waiting for people to choose us, like, we should be doing the choosing. It's always been men in the past that have pursued women, and to see it turned around is just really disheartening. We are so valuable, and we need to protect ourselves at all costs. See, the thing is, when you don't see your value, you're going to waste your life spending it around men who don't value you, who truly don't see how precious you are. And men can do that, right? Because they don't really have a timeline. But if you're a woman and you want to potentially have a family in the future, you cannot waste your time. Unfortunately, we have this biological clock that pressures us to at least not waste our time with people who don't see our value. It's the reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? And I can't lie to you and say, like, you have all your entire life. Like, unfortunately, we do have this biological clock. And so that's even more of a reason to understand your value. And by understanding your value, by holding yourself up to higher standards, you don't waste your time. You don't just give yourself away to people who don't deserve you just for attention. And it's so important to give all that love and attention to yourself before you go out and seeking it from others. So I once made a man the center of my world, okay? I would anxiously wait for his text messages. If his mood was off, my mood would be off. If he wasn't happy, I wouldn't be happy. My whole entire world revolved around him. And when he didn't want me anymore, I completely lost all sense of worth. I didn't know my value anymore. I truly thought like I was worthless. And that was completely all my fault, right? Because I had placed all my worth and value in someone else's hands. And that's exactly what I want you guys to avoid doing. I want you to avoid putting all your sense of identity and validation in someone else's hands. Because if they no longer see your worth, you're no longer going to see your worth. And that puts you in a really, really bad spot. Thankfully, now that I've done the healing, I know exactly my worth. I know exactly my value and what I bring to the table. And if someone comes along in my life who doesn't see that, then I beg to differ. It's truly just like a difference in opinion. It's like you like apples and I like oranges. And if you don't like oranges, then sorry for your loss, bro. I have that foundation and I've spent a lot of time building that up and no one's going to break that down. And I would never try convincing someone that I'm worth it, right? Because I already know that. And honestly, is just a waste of my breath. If someone doesn't like me, if someone doesn't want me anymore, I genuinely find that so unattractive. Whereas before, I used to do the chasing. I used to try to chase after people and prove to them, no, I'm worthy. Please love me. Give me attention. But now, if someone doesn't want to be with me, then that has nothing to do with my worth because I already know how valuable I am. And I genuinely think like that's your loss. Like I'm truly sorry for you, but I don't see it that way. That's how confident I want you to be. Because the moment you find yourself begging for someone's love and attention, it is already a lost cause. Like it is already over because you would never have to beg for something that was meant for you. You would never have to convince someone of your worth, right? Like people should automatically see that and they would do anything in their power to make sure that they don't lose you, that they don't hurt you. If you don't see your worth, you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to convince everybody to see your worth because you don't believe you're worthy. And the thing is, when you don't see your value, other people won't either. How can other people see you're valuable if you yourself don't see your value? If you walk around thinking you're a loser, you're worthless, everyone else is also going to think that way because you're going to literally wear it on your shoulders. You carry your identity with you everywhere you go, every room you walk into, every encounter you have. You're not going to deceive anyone if you yourself don't believe that you're worthy. As soon as you think that I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, that person's also going to perceive that. And so be really, really careful with how you view yourself. It's so important to change this narrative that you have playing on in your head that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy of love. You are so incredibly valuable. And if someone else doesn't see your worth, then that's their loss. You keep moving forward. You go on with your life, and you will one day find someone who will actually treat you as the amazing, incredible person that you are. Understand your worth, understand your value, and respect yourself. The way you act, the way you dress, the words you speak, that all shows how much you respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, other people will respect yourself too. The way to stop seeking male validation is to heal your childhood wounds. Because clearly there was a point in your life where you didn't feel loved. And so you will spend the rest of your life chasing it through other people if you don't give it to yourself and if you don't understand and acknowledge that it wasn't given to you in the past. And you will never be satisfied because you will constantly be chasing that love through other men who will never be able to provide it for you. The next thing to know is understand when you raise your value, when you start respecting yourself, you're going to be getting a lot less attention. When you work on yourself and you know your value, you're going to get a lot less attention because people are going to be intimidated by you. They now know that they also have to do the work in order to be at your level. And it's not just going to be easy, right? Like it's going to take a lot of work to impress you and to get your attention because you're just really valuable. And anything that's valuable in life, there are a lot less people that are willing to go for it. So for example, think of universities, okay? Like Harvard University. It's really prestigious. You have to be incredibly accomplished and smart to get into. Not everyone applies to Harvard. Like how many people do you know have applied to Harvard? Not too many people, right? Because they know they can't get in. They know they haven't done the work. Just because Harvard may get a lot less applicants doesn't mean it's not a good school. It's like incredibly valuable. It's a great school. And a lot of people are just intimidated by it and they don't think they have a chance. And so that's exactly what happens when you raise your value. You're going to get a lot less attention from men. And people get scared like, oh my God, like, what am I doing wrong? I'm not getting all this attention. I'm not getting DMs in my Instagram. Like, no men are really like looking at me anymore. That's a good thing because it's quality over quantity. You'll be getting a lot less attention, but you'll be getting the attention from the right ones. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot less people who are in that category because there are a lot less people who are willing to do the work, who are willing to become the best versions of themselves. Unfortunately, the path to healing is a very lonely path. There's not a lot of people in this path. But man, once you find someone who actually is on that same journey, who is willing to at least try, it's truly incredible and it's going to be so worth it. I want you to know your value so that you don't get brought down by insecure men. There's not a lot of worse things out there than insecure men, okay? Insecure men will truly be the ones who will bring you down completely because they know your worth, they see your value, and they might even know that you yourself don't see your value, and they'll take advantage of that. And I don't want you to be spending your entire life trying to gain their acceptance and their validation because it's never coming for you. If they can't even love themselves, how are they going to love you? How are they going to provide you with that sense of security? The one thing insecure men do that they're incredibly good about is they're all talk. Right? They're all just words. They're going to promise you this entire fantasy where they're going to become so successful and take care of you and do all this for you. But meanwhile, they're literally doing bupkis. Like they're doing nothing to back that up. And so never ever look at people's words. Look at their actions. What are they actually doing to support you? What are they actually doing to back up what they're saying? As soon as you see that someone is telling you something but doing another action, they're manipulating you. They're completely manipulating you. And it's your job to understand that and acknowledge that and get out of that situation because you are so much better than this and you deserve more. And I don't mean to hate on men. I think there's nothing more attractive than a secure man who knows his value, who can really respect a woman and understand her value. And it's really sad to see. I feel like there's a lot of like men versus women content out there and we're just like constantly attacking each other and hating on each other. This is not to promote that at all. I think that's not productive and it does us no good to hate on each other. The whole point of this video is just for you to understand your worth and value and so you can be more confident, so you don't waste time, and so that you truly acknowledge like how valuable you are. That's the whole point of this video. And kind of going on a side tangent, but I've been seeing a lot of content and even in my conversations with other women who are dating, like a lot of them have this perspective that all men are just terrible and there are no good men left. And I don't subscribe to that perspective. I think that's not productive. And I think you should be careful with what you say. Because if you say, oh, there are no good men out there, then truly that is what you will get. Because you will see the world through this perspective that there are no good men out there. And there might be some good ones that are in your life right now, but you're blinded to it because you have this negative perspective. And this is not just like spiritual woo, like whatever. No, like what you believe, what you think truly alters the way you perceive the world. So I don't want you to think that there are no good men left in this world. There are so many, and I know so many, and I have great examples of healthy relationships all around me. It happens all the time. And so if you've been finding like your algorithm is just showing you all this like really negative stuff, that there are no good people out there, that, you know, dating is a lost cause, love is a lost cause, please don't believe that. Like, I really don't think that's productive. There are so many good people out there. So I want you to go out there and understand truly how valuable you are. And never let someone else tell you that you're anything less. And never let anyone make you beg for their attention or their validation, because you already know how much you're worth. All right, guys. So I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.